Welcome to Ideagen TV live from the NASDAQ here in Manhattan. I am so honored to have our good friend and colleague, Jeff Terry from GAF with us today. Jeff, welcome.
Thanks, George. Good to see you as always.
Jeff, the guy doesn't age. He's on TV. He's changing the world, and he's at GAF, which I cannot wait for our global audience to hear more about. Jeff, would you kindly quickly describe the mission of GAF?
Sure, you bet. So GAF is North America's largest roofing and waterproofing manufacturer. We're a part of Standard Industries, which is the world's largest roofing and waterproofing company. So we make a lot of products that serve residential, commercial markets, municipal markets, government customers, everybody. My role there is really to help kind of guide, steer, and direct our whole approach to sustainability and corporate responsibility.
What a role! What an incredible role at this time, and we'll
Absolutely.
get into that more. But what strategies do you employ to ensure that your strategy, your corporate social responsibility strategy, is in line with everything that you're doing? How do you make sure everything is in alignment?
Well, I mean, the thing that's most important is that our approach to sustainability or corporate responsibility or ESG overall is really tied into the business objectives, the business strategy of the enterprise. You know, we have incredible co-CEOs of our parent company, Standard Industry, David Winter, David Millstone, that have a commitment to invest $1 billion in innovation to help kind of move our sector forward, but at the same time solve some of the biggest challenges we're dealing with in the built environment. That really allows us the opportunity to integrate kind of our approach to sustainability into the business strategy of GAF as well as our sister companies within Standard.
And so what is one initiative? I know there's so many.
Sure.
That you can point to say, this is why I'm so inspired about where the industry's going?
Well, it's a great question. It's hard to just pick one.
Right.
So I'm going to touch on a couple quickly.
Right. Sure.
You know, one of the things that we've really tried to drive within the roofing sector is kind of what we call roof cycle. No company in the roofing sector across the world has really taken on and looked to build a circular economy within our sector. We created kind of and have built the technology, brought the approach to how do you take roofing material off of roofs, turn it back. But one of the things that I really want to talk about is, you know, when you can look at a satellite picture of any city in the country. And what do you see? You see roofs and you see roads. And we have technologies that really can look at these hard surfaces and cool them down. But more importantly, cool them down in a way that actually doesn't just cool down the surface, it cools down the air.
Yeah.
And our approach to addressing urban heat, which is one of the most critical implications of climate change, is a major focus for us. We call this initiative Cool Communities, and it's how we work in partnership with other organizations, but ultimately deploy technology in a way that actually can help solve the issue of urban heat, which, as we've seen over the last many years, have been having too much of a significant impact on public health.
So shifting gears just a bit.
Sure.
You're in a very highly regulated industry. How do you balance regulations and what you need to get done to change the world in your industry?
I think they go hand in hand, in fact. You know, we have in the built environment, we have codes and standards that need to be met. It takes a long time to change codes and standards, but being an active participant in the process of improving codes that aren't just from a compliance mindset, but are helping to point the way in the direction of where we need to be going as a sector overall. That's one incredible important part of it. I think secondarily, it's looking at opportunities that come through the Inflation Reduction Act and other state-driven regulations and not just fighting against, but ultimately working in collaboration with those opportunities that are going to bring the future needs and solutions, one, to society and to the marketplace. I mean, there is an incredibly important opportunity the private sector has to play in seeking market solutions to big problems.
That's right.
Compliance, regulations, codes,
Yeah.
they're all a part of the mechanisms that need to continue to grow and evolve to ensure that we're doing the right things in the right way in the future.
And collaboration. So we take it to the next level. We have collaboration, and that's your focus. And you're a living, breathing embodiment of the importance of collaboration.
It's collective action, collective impact.
Collective impact and collective action. What is an example? Again, tough question because
there's a lot of different
so many
things we could
partnerships.
talk about.
What is one partnership you're so proud of?
Well, I'll go back to the GAF cool community concept. We've been working in LA. Kind of we've essentially taken now almost a 20 square block area and completely covered all the hard spaces on the grounds, from roads to parking lots to playgrounds to schoolyards, and put a solar reflective coating on those. And now we're bringing cool roof technologies into that. But we can't do that by ourselves. We had to work in partnership with the city of LA, with many agencies within the government, from Parks and Recs to LA Unified School District to Streets LA. But we also had to work, most importantly, kind of with the residents in that community. And an incredible partner like Climate Resolve, who introduced us to Pacoima Beautiful, this community of which we're working. There's a wonderful collaboration kind of amongst all of these different partners that really allowed us to engage, most importantly, with the residents in Pacoima, to allow us to become a part of their community.
Incredible. To
bring these type of solutions to play. And we've seen them. We did research around this and have seen kind of more than a 2-degree Fahrenheit reduction in air temperature at 6 feet over a year-long study on this, or 3.5-degree improvement or reduction in ambient air on extremely hot days. These are significant things that we've heard firsthand from our partners like Climate Resolve, Pacoima Beautiful, most importantly, the residents of this community saying, we can feel a difference. We can sense a difference. We can tell a difference.
Yeah.
And, there's great science around this type of work, and also the correlation between reduced ambient heating and public health as well.
Exactly.
So,
and there's heat deserts, right?
There are heat deserts. Well, there's urban heat islands.
Yeah.
And that's what we're really focused on trying to address.
Oh my gosh. And so you're known for giving back to the community at GAF. That's in the DNA of the company.
Yep.
What
we
is
protect
it?
what matters most. That's what we talk about. We protect what matters most.
How are these? What is your vision for expanding these partnerships and engaging even more with these local communities?
Well, you know what, we're living in a changing world.
Yeah.
At the core of our community development efforts, we call it Community Matters. It's really focused on building more resilient communities. You can do this by improving the shelter, like we've been talking about, making a better built environment, kind of helping to ensure that the built environment doesn't contribute as much to the carbon dynamic we're dealing with in the atmosphere. But it's also about building resilient families. And that's kind of ensuring that every family is prepared for the next storm that comes their way in their lives. And it's also about building resilient workforces. We need, at Ideagen, which is awesome, there's a lot of focus on STEM. There has been for a long time, a lot of focus on education. We're focused on the trades. How do we ensure that kind of trades are an attractive career opportunity for individuals? We have the GAF Roofing Academy, which is focused on trade development, but we also focus on STEM because manufacturing is still a critical part of the economy in North America. And we have 35 manufacturing locations just here in the US.
Incredible.
So we want to build that next generation of operator that's where STEM is critically important for them to understand what the next modern manufacturing kind of wave that we're going to experience in our country is, and frankly around the world.
You have long-term and short-term priorities.
Yep.
How do you balance those?
Well, I think it gets back to business strategy.
Yeah.
This work doesn't sit along or on the edges of the business. It's actually fully embedded and integrated into what our business strategy is. And, I think being a part of Standard Industries and GAF being a part of Standard Industries, we're a private company. We have incredible leaders and owners and CEOs that have that forward-looking, longer-term mindset,
Yeah.
while at the same time knowing we've got to deliver short-term business results. So it's always
So
a
you're accountable.
balance. We're always accountable. Accountability is at the core of accomplishing anything, and not being afraid to take risks, but being accountable for it.
And then how do you measure the impact of your sustainability?
But I think it comes right back to it.
Yeah.
It's just like when sustainability is operationalized well within your business, it's also helps you save money. There's a misunderstanding or a myth around sustainability in the private sector a lot of times that, well, it's going to cost you more to do this, when in fact, if you do it well,
If you do it all.
in the short to long term, it's actually going to pay back for you. We're seeing that. We're driving operational and waste management improvements, just as an example, within the business, where we're helping to save the company millions of dollars a year.
Incredible.
That's doing this work well and tying it right into your business strategy. We're seeing the marketplace change too.
Yeah.
There is an expectation of consumers as to kind of what they want to leave behind, and making the decisions, whether it's purchasing kind of consumables or non-consumables, as it relates to, I want to leave something better,
Sure.
for the next generation as well.
Sure.
That's a part of kind of leading GAF, leading the way into a sector of the built environment that has been a little slow to get there.
Right.
So it takes leaders to really push and bring others along, because the payoff is going to be a successful business.
That's right.
And the payoff is going to be resilient communities.
And so, Jeff, what is your call to action for the millions of people who will watch this interview on Ideagen TV?
I guess there's a couple of calls to action. Everybody can lead. It doesn't matter where you sit. It doesn't matter what role you are or at what level you are in your company, organization, or what have you. If you have ideas and you have passion, you can make a difference. You can help lead your organization, your company, to achieve greater things than they could be today. But we can't do it ourselves. We have to do it collectively. We're very fortunate to have other companies that we work with, to have a parent company that kind of helps us to push and innovate, but to collaborate with different sectors.
That's right.
We've probably talked a lot today about cross-sector engagement. The urban heat work we're doing has been municipal engagement, has been government engagement. It's been nonprofit engagement. We can't do this work by ourselves. None of us can. We're far beyond that point of ever accomplishing things by ourselves. So collaborate, partner, but lead. Step into what you're passionate about and go make something happen.
And how can folks find out more about the game-changing work at GAF?
Well, the best way to get just to find out more about GAF and all that we're doing in this space is go to our website at gaf.com. It's pretty easy, gaf.com. Best way to get some information. Plus, there's ways that you can outreach to us through our website as well. And we'll look forward to it. We're always looking for partners.
Jeff Terry, GAF, changing the world.
Good to see
Thank
you,
you.
George.
Great to see you.
Great to be a part of Ideagen.
Thank you for being here. It's an honor.
Yep. You too.